Born Ian Fraser Kilmister in Burslem on Christmas Eve 1945, Lemmy moved first to Madeley with his mum and later on to Newcastle-under-Lyme. He was credited with introducing punk sounds into the heavy metal genre and having a wild offstage reputation for drinking and partying.
I mean, in the old days, it wasn't called heavy metal, it was called heavy rock.
It's a very loud kind of music. I mean, was it done to your health? I mean, was it done to your ears, for instance?
Eh?
He first started out as a roadie for Jimi Hendrix, before in 1972 he joined the space rock band Hawkwind as a bass player. He was sacked after being busted for drug possession in 1975 and went on to form the heavy metal band Motörhead, releasing 22 studio albums between 1977 and 2015. With Lemmy as the frontman, the band achieved critical acclaim. In 1980, the Ace of Spades album reached number 4 in the UK chart and established Lemmy as one of the godfathers of heavy metal, alongside the members of Black Sabbath.
In one word, sum up heavy metal for us.
Noise.
Lemmy sadly died of cancer in 2015, shortly after completing another world tour with the band known as the fastest and the loudest in heavy metal.
Well, with me on BBC Radio Stoke, and I want to say hello to our Facebook Live viewers as well. Hello, if you're watching us on Facebook at the moment. Hello, hello. With me, Tony Iommi, guitar player with rock legends Black Sabbath. Tony is unveiling the plaque, aren't you, later on this season?
Absolutely.
How did you get to know Lemmy? You knew him quite well.
Well, I knew him well enough. I mean, I knew him from just when he was with Hawkwind, actually, and that's where we first met in a place in Monmouth. It was a studio, and he came down there when we were rehearsing, and that's where we sort of first met. And then years later, when he started Motörhead, we seemed to have Motörhead on the shows all the time, which was great, you know, and we really got on well.
So you ended up touring all over the shop with him. What was he really like?
He was a nice chap. I liked him, and he was always genuine. You know, what you see is what you get, and he didn't hide anything. You know, he was definitely the sex, drugs, and rock and roll man.
Was he? I've heard he used to sit and write poetry. Was there not this quiet little man behind the scenes?
He might have done that in his spare time, but no, he was a very, very clever man, actually. I mean, he used to sit sometimes in the dressing room writing lyrics, and when he was on tour with us, he'd come round to my room and say, "Hey, do you want any lyrics for your next album? I've got some lyrics here, do you want to have a look?" And I go, "Well, not now, you know, just before you go on." But he was really a nice guy, and as I say, he was very funny as well.
So he used to share lyrics with you. What are your best memories of Lemmy?
Well, there's a lot of memories of them. I mean, he was a genuine. He loved what he did, and he'd get on stage and he'd give all. You know, he was probably the first speed metal band out. You know, I mean, when I first heard their stuff, I thought, God, blimey, it was like so loud. And I mean, we were loud, but they were louder, I think. There's different memories of him. It's just some of the funny humour he come out with, you know. There's one particular one where he was on stage one night, and my guitar tech told me this, and he said to the monitor man, he said, "Hey, monitor man, can you hear that horrible sound coming out of my monitor?" And the monitor man says, "No." He says, "Neither can I, turn me up." It's like that's the way he was, you know.
Always had to be louder. You can't underestimate the impact he had, though, on metal and rock music in general.
Oh no, there's a huge gap now. They really did. They were very different from most anybody else out there. What they played, how they played it, and how they lived it, and how they lived their life. I've never seen anybody else out of all the bands I know, and I know a lot, live like that. I mean, he would sleep on the bus. He would. That was his life. Music was his life, and One-Armed Bandits was his other.
And he moved to America. Why?
He liked the life, I think, in America, and he used to go down to a club in Sunset Strip called the Rainbow Club, which is a very well-known club. And he used to go down, any time off he'd have, in between tours, he'd go down there, and he used to always be seen playing the One-Armed Bandits. He'd love it, I think, and they actually gave him one in the end to put in his flat. He ended up buying a flat just up the road from the Rainbow so he could go to the Rainbow.
There were no sort of airs and graces either, were there, with Lemmy? He was very much, this is me, that's it.
Oh yeah, there was no airs and graces about Lemmy at all. He was just like, you accept him for what he is, and which was really good.
Why do you think his music is still influencing so many bands? You say that there's no band out there at the moment still like Motörhead, and yet there are so many still influenced by it.
Oh yeah, a lot influenced by Motörhead. They were offering, and because they were like the original ones doing it, you know, the sort of music that they played. And I mean, it was just funny, you know. We used to see them on the side of the stage before they went on, when they were on tour, some of the shows with us, and they'd be being sick before they go on stage, on the side of the stage, being sick, and then walk on like nothing's happened and start playing. I never could figure out how they could do that. Be drinking away merrily and then go on stage and play, you know, great.
What would he make of this, of being honoured here at Port Vale with a Blue Plaque?
He would love it, absolutely love it. And it's a shame, you know, that everybody has to go and don't know of all this happening after they've gone, after they've passed. I'm sure he would love it. He would love to know that he's being remembered in his hometown, and that they're playing Ace of Spades.
On BBC Radio Stoke. And can you remember the last time you saw him?
The last time was his birthday, his 70th birthday, I think. And he wasn't very well then, and I couldn't actually make the party that he'd invited me to, so I sent him a video, you know, to play, and that was sort of, I never seen him after that. That was because we were working, and it was. I knew he was ill, but he wasn't sort of one to make a fuss about it all. You know, I'm all right, I'm okay. And Lemmy is the sort of person, he never would want to cancel. It was his fans all the time.
Oh, he never cancelled gigs and that, did he? Or very rarely?
No, I've only ever seen him, out of all the years, cancel one show. And we were playing in California, and I think it was the Hollywood Bowl, and they were supporting us. And I went past his dressing room, and he looked really rough. And I thought, he's never going to play that tonight. I said, you can't go on and play, you know. You need to cancel it. Because he was very ill. And for him to cancel the show, it was unknown. He never did cancel shows. He'd always want to get out there, however he felt.
And he must have, you know, made a fair bit of money as well through his life. Was he ever a showy rock and roller?
No. Well, let's put it this way: he'd have the same clothes on for the last how many years? You know, I've seen him in his white boots, his belt, but that was him. That's the way he wanted to be.
You must have a favourite Motörhead song.
You
must have a favourite song.
Of them? Oh no, I don't like them.
Oh, give it. Have we already played it? Was it Ace of Spades or another one?
Yeah, Ace of Spades was great. I mean, it's a real catchy song, yeah.
Well, we'll have some more to come. Tony Iommi, for the moment, I'll leave you be. Thanks very much. You're going to be unveiling the plaque for us in about 25 minutes' time. Thank you very much. For now, though, let's check the latest on the roads for our BBC Radio Stoke listeners. Al can give us an update.
Whether they're a teenage